If you clicked on this video, you're probably dizzy. There are lots of things that can cause dizziness, but this video is about solutions. If you're dizzy, most of the time it just means your inner ear isn't working correctly. The solution? Train your brain to tolerate that flawed information coming from your inner ear. If you're new, I'm Tim Rementer, Doctor of Physical Therapy, and here at Movement Project, I provide practical, evidence-based solutions to help you move your best in your 40s and beyond. Our first exercise is aimed at improving the sensitivity of your brain with your visual stimuli. All of these exercises will be for time instead of reps, so that's one less thing you need to track. Level 1 for all of these exercises is going to be sitting. Level 2 will be standing. And if level 1 is too much, we'll go back to level 0, lying down. Be sure to watch the entire video and I'll detail the sets and reps for each exercise and what you can expect throughout the program. As always, be sure you have clearance from your medical provider before starting any exercise program. The biggest difference that you'll find in these exercises compared to most of what you see on YouTube is you actually should be bringing on symptoms when you do these exercises. We call these habituation exercises. We're trying to train your brain to be less sensitive to that stimuli coming from your inner ear. So when you do the exercises, you should bring yourself up to a level of dizziness that's about maybe a 3 or a 4 or a 5, and then you let yourself get back down to 0 before going into your next set. If those symptoms don't subside after 2 minutes, then you need to go back a level. If you go back a level and you're still having trouble with your symptoms after a 2-minute rest period, seek the help of a medical professional. In this first exercise where we're working on training our brain's tolerance for eye movement, we're gonna just have a finger on either side, or you can use 2 pens or 2 targets, and you're gonna keep your head still and then move your eyes side to side, starting slowly without moving your head. If it's too easy for you, then you're gonna track back and forth a little bit quicker until you feel like you have some dizziness. You'll set a timer and see if you can do these for 30 seconds. If you tolerate that well, you increase to 60 seconds and then even up to 2 minutes for a set. If you're really having difficulty, you may start with only 3 seconds per set before you get those symptoms that are a 3, 4, or 5 out of 10. The next one that we're gonna do is move our eyes up and down with our head still. Give yourself 2 targets. If you just want to move without targets, that's okay too to start. Just make sure you're going all the way up and all the way down with your eyes without moving your head. The next one we're going to do is take our thumb and we're going to bring that close, focusing our eyes on that thumbnail, and we'll stop about 8 to 12 inches away from our eyes and move back and forth. Same thing, don't cause double vision with it. If you see 2 thumbs, then you want to stop and then don't go that close next time, but you'll just go through that for, again, 30 seconds if you can to start, and then work that up to 1 to 2 minutes. You can use a pen or some other device if you'd rather do that than your thumb. These are great exercises for you if you're someone that has dizziness or unsteadiness when you change positions or you move quickly, you reach overhead, when you bend down, it gives you a sense of dizziness or unsteadiness. This habituation exercise program is going to really make a difference. If those become easy, you can try progressing to the next level. Level 2, do them in standing and just make sure you have hands on a chair nearby for stability. Moving on to our next exercise, we're going to move the head and the eyes are going to come along with the head as we go full extension and full flexion of the head. Again, start slow and build your way up with speed and set yourself on that 30-second timer. If you do this exercise and it does not provoke dizziness, it is not helping you. You need to provoke some dizziness so that your brain can get used to the stimulus and to become less sensitive. After you complete the extension and flexion of the head, then we're gonna do full rotation. Eyes come along for the ride with the head. Then you just track back and forth. You can put targets on either side if you want, and you're gonna go through that. You guessed it, 30 seconds, and then build up as your tolerance for the activity increases. Again, you should make sure that you're provoking some kind of a dizziness response. To make sure that you're moving at a consistent speed, just pick up a metronome app or just go to the Google metronome and type in something like 60 beats per minute and then try to keep that pace. That way you know how intense you're doing the exercise. Just like you would keep track of how much weight you had on the bar when you're lifting weights, you want to keep track of your speed so you can monitor your progress and feel good about those wins that you make from one exercise session to the next. Moving on to the next exercise in the series, we were moving our eyes and then we moved our head in exercise number 2. And for exercise number 3, we're gonna get the shoulders and the lower spine moving. So we're just gonna start with shoulder shrugs. going at a slow pace to start, no symptoms. Try to go a little bit faster, and then we'll move into shoulder circles, forward, and shoulder circles, backward. If this doesn't provoke any dizziness, don't feel like you need to go at some sort of a crazy pace to do it. It may just be that the lower part of your neck is not contributing to your dizziness as much as the head and the inner ear. Now, much like we moved our head side to side and we kept our lower body still, we're gonna do the opposite. We're gonna keep our head still, and we're gonna move the lower part of our spine. So we're rotating our trunk, keeping our head straight forward toward a target, and getting rotation of the mid or thoracic spine while keeping the head and neck still. 30 seconds to start, build up your tolerance. If you find that this or another part of the program doesn't provoke any dizziness, then you're probably okay to discontinue those parts and focus on the things that are provoking your dizziness more than others. Moving on to the next exercise series, we're gonna bend forward like we're picking something up from the floor and then bring ourselves back up. I like to have the eyes go with the trunk, so when we bend forward, our eyes will go down to the target, and when we come back up, our eyes will fixate on the target ahead. If you want to put a sticky note on the wall or just focus on a picture or something that's there already, that works well. If you want to place something on the floor, that works well also. If you don't, you can just imagine and bend forward, go down, look at the floor, and then come back up. Use that handy metronome app on your smartphone or set it up on your desktop so it's beeping and it keeps you at the same cadence, the same pace as you go through that 30-second timer when you get started. Try to provoke some slight dizziness. Wait until you're back to a 0. Should be there in at least 2 minutes, preferably sooner. You'll find as you get better with this program that the amount of time it gets you back to 0 gets quicker and quicker if you stay at that same intensity. If sitting's too easy, you guessed it, we'll move to level 2, which is the standing version. Same exercise. Imagine we're picking something up off the floor. We bend down, use the chair there to give us stability, stand back up, look at a target on the wall, back down, and you just repeat that at the same cadence using your metronome until that 30 seconds expires. No problem, go faster, add time. Wait until you're back to 0 and then move on. The main questions people will ask about these programs is how long is this going to take to make a difference? Well, this type of program could take you up to 6 weeks or even longer to see real significant life-changing results. But that's why it's so important that you use that metronome and you keep track of your improvements, because it's going to help you remain motivated. You want to try to do this 2 to 3 times a day to get the results as quickly as possible. Remember, you're trying to essentially rewire your brain so that sensitivity goes down and you don't have dizziness from simple things like head movements or looking overhead or walking and turning, maybe closing your eyes. People often ask, when do they need to seek medical attention? Well, if you have sharp or consistent prolonged pain in your neck or ear, fullness in your ear, ringing in your ear, numbness or tingling or weakness, loss of consciousness, double vision, those are the types of things that you would go and seek professional medical consultation for to rule out something more serious. I'm working on a more advanced habituation dizziness exercise video. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. If this video was helpful, do me a favor and share it with a friend or family member to help them with their dizziness and suffering. If you have vertigo with spinning sensations, check out this video on the Epley maneuver. To watch another video on vertigo exercises, click up here.